audio. There we go. Let me double check that my audio is working though. Test. I see it moving. So yeah, I think we're okay. Leave a comment if you're watching live on not TikTok and you can hear me, because that would be great to know if you can hear me right now. Welcome to this live stream. We are going to deploy Talos Kubernetes using Talos and Omni. Omni is the SaaS platform from Sidera on how to basically not TikTok. Thank you so much for the comment there. That's all I needed. I have my phone here for TikTok because you can't do it any other way. And sometimes TikTok people are wonderful and they give me good questions. So yeah. So, but I wanted to show off how easy it is to deploy to my cluster back here, my Kubernetes cluster, a full Kubernetes from scratch, from like nothing. You have absolutely nothing. And the very first step is to actually sign up for Omni. So let me drop that link. And I need to find a better link for this at some point. But for now, I'm going to paste it in here. So once you sign up for it, you're going to get to a dashboard. And now I will pull in my screen and show you that dashboard for what you get with Omni. And to deploy to bare metal, what we need to do is we need to download installation media, because like I said, I'm going to deploy to this box back here, and we're going to get a cluster. So over here, I'm going to make this a little bigger. Download installation media. That's it. Just we need to install something. Cool things here. You can select what version you want to install. I know 164 just came out with the run C vulnerability or CVE fix. So we're going to get 164, and we're going to get the metal. We have all different. If you want AWS, Azure, you can deploy it anywhere you want. There's a generic, there's ISO. I think I want the ISO. If I remember correctly, this is Pi, VMware, yeah, up cloud. So we're going to get the ISO. Generic ISO for AMD 64. And then you can mix in a bunch of stuff. You can actually build layers on top of your image on the fly. So if you want Fuse 3 or gvisor, let's go with the Hello World service. That why not? I've never actually deployed that one before. A bunch of stuff in here. If you want GPU drivers, you get them during image. You can download them, and that's really slick. Different kernel parameters, and if you want to do a Pixie boot. I'm going to boot this off a USB, so I'm just going to actually just download the ISO itself. And I need to find my USB drive that has everything on it. Oh boy. Because you do need a USB drive if you're going to be doing it this way. So let's see here. I need to find that USB drive real fast. I have a 64 gig USB drive that has everything. Oh, you know what? It's over here. I remember now because I was deploying to a different box and I put it on there. Okay, so I use a tool called Ventoy, which is really slick, and it lets you boot multiple images without needing to like always reflash the drive. So all I have to do is drag the ISO that I just downloaded onto this disk. So you can see here, I have some Bluefin, Silverblue. I actually have Talos, like a standalone Talos. And so I'm going to get this one, which is Metal AMD 64 Omni JG. And one of the cool things here is it actually builds in these Omni images, build in a WireGuard connection back to the dashboard. So as soon as I boot this machine, I'll get a connection for it here. And I already dragged over. So these images are small. This is only 88 megs. So it does not take long. So let's go ahead and boot a system from it. Okay. Yep, removed it. I'm going to plug it in to one of my machines over here and then turn it on. I also have HDMI. Let's see if that. I heard our beep, so we got post. I plugged in a screen up here so I can see it booting behind me, just to make sure that it goes the right way. I think it's set to boot USB automatically, but I'm going to double check that as it goes. It's waiting for a Pixie boot. So Pixie is first in this BIOS, but we're going to go ahead and boot it from USB. Once Pixie fails, so a couple things that while that's booting, inside of Omni, you can see we get our WireGuard endpoint where all of these machines are going to connect. So once they boot up, like I said, WireGuard is already part of the image. It's going to tunnel back into Omni here so I can see where this is going. And my join tokens, that sort of stuff for like, hey, how do we actually join in a cluster? Right now I have nothing. I have no machines here. I have no clusters. This is all pretty scratch. What's up, Andy? Oh, good. Thanks for letting me know on Twitter. I haven't done this to Twitter, and it was a recent addition for StreamYard. So I'm glad it's working over there because all my previous attempts with Twitter had another thing. They had an old system, Periscope, that they used for a while for live streaming, and it was terrible. Okay, it did in fact do the wrong thing, which I guess I'm not that surprised about. Because I don't usually. Oh man, I can't get this USB in at all. Hold on a second. I got to turn off this machine, and I got to boot Gunna. Where's Gunna? Flip my video. Delete. Okay, I know this is riveting. Yeah, I know you can't hear me. I don't have a mic over there. Sorry, I'm just talking to myself. What's up, Darko? So what I actually had to do was I need to the BIOS boot order is not correct. It's set to boot Pixie first, but USB is not second. So it was trying to boot to the local USB drive. So I'm going to go ahead and manually boot this machine off the USB, and we'll probably do that with the next couple ones too, just to get them to boot and show up here in the console. I'm mashing the keyboard to try to remember what the boot menu is. And I don't think I made it. I don't think that worked because I don't think it's detecting the USB drive. So now I got to figure out why it's not detecting it. F19, that has to be it, Darko. Thank you. Is there another way besides playing the piano on the function keys? Unfortunately not, because yeah, like every provider does it differently. Let's see if this one comes up. Can the Omni UI be run locally? Yes, we do offer it for enterprise, and it will be. We're working on open sourcing it so that's you can run it in test environments locally and completely disconnected, air gapped environments too. It's still trying to boot. Okay, wait. Let me. While I'm here, I'm just gonna boot. I'm gonna write a second USB drive because it's not detecting that one, and it might be the USB-C adapter that it has, because sometimes those are funny. So let's get my trusty SanDisk that I erase every time. Restore disk image. Downloads metal. This one. Open. Start. Did you know my password was all dots? Okay, and it's not. I mean, the image is only 88 megs, something like that. So, does this work with other managed Kubernetes services? No, it doesn't. Partially because of the bootstrapping process, where all of the other managed services kind of want to own that, and in order to connect back into Omni, we need to know some of the secrets for like joining keys. So, unfortunately, no. There is images if you want to download and run it in any other environments. Like if you look, all the major cloud providers are here. I'm just using a generic ISO right now. Okay, it still failed to boot. I'm gonna try this drive instead. Do I have a network? I do. Okay. I thought I forgot to plug in the network, but it is plugged in. So now we will wait for the beep and we'll try it again. All right, now this time it worked, and I wish I did have KVM set up on this so I could show you the actual boot process and out of band everything. That's something that I should probably get to be able to do these demos a little better. Is there a way for me to do that? Honestly, I think there is. And it wouldn't even be that hard to set up. I can do it. Hold on. I'm thinking about it, but also we're installing right now. So give me a second. I'm going to plug this in. I got to get my, where do I invite people? Invite. There it is. I can't send this to my other computer. Ah, it's so difficult. Hold on. Talos is booting over there, so we're getting some progress. I'm just trying to show you the screen a little better. All right, so I got my iPad over there and I can plug in my capture card and we'll be ready to go. Um, okay, let's see. We need I know, Darko, but I'm not doing it. I was debating going down that route and I refused to do it. I've never actually seen that error before. The machine says no video mode available. And it's booting in blind mode, which is fascinating. Probably because I unplugged the HDMI midway through boots and then I plugged it into something different. So yeah, that's probably a thing. But here it is. It did boot. It's available. It's ready to go. I'm gonna go boot the second machine on the USB. And I think I figured out. I've never seen that ever before. No, it's brand new error. I don't know. It's booting the ISO. Okay. Something you have to do on Talos if you want to reinstall it is you have to set a reset for the system. Otherwise, it'll boot locally. So I'm waiting for the USB to actually detect, give me a grub menu, and then I can say reset the installation, and it'll go back through and do an install. While we're waiting for that, I hear myself now on the freaking iPad, and I need to turn that off. There it goes. I think there it goes. Okay. So while we have this system up and running or available here, I don't think I want my patches. You can see logs, which is super awesome for an early state. Like I haven't done anything else to the system. It doesn't have anything installed or configured. It's just following logs over a WireGuard connection back to the management cluster. Waiting for the second one. Eric, sorry, I'm getting back to these comments. Will Omni provide managed control planes as a service? It is something we've been thinking about. So if you have a use case and want to do that, absolutely stop by Slack and let us know, or send me a message. I'd be happy to talk about it with you. Right now, we don't have that as an offering. This is mostly for people that are running their own hardware in various states and they want to have an on-prem Kubernetes installation. All right, my second machine booted, and I think it booted. There it is. Okay. It's initializing right now. It shows it's an invalid state. It just finished on the monitor. You can see a little bit of it. So I'm going to boot the third system. I don't know if it shows. Here it is. Okay, yeah. So Talos 164. We get our machines from this, and it's showing it's looking for an endpoint for the cluster itself. But again, I haven't done anything with the cluster. I haven't told it to do anything with the cluster. This is just, here's some machines. We're getting the machines in place. And this is a very different way of managing systems compared to EKS Anywhere, which I was just working on. Because with something like EKS Anywhere, the very first thing you have to do is you have to go collect MAC addresses. You have to go look up the boxes, go find the MAC address, write it down, put it in a CSV file, along with like what IP address and subnet and gateway, all of this stuff you have to do like inventory before you do anything. And this is like just reverse that. It's just like just boot off the system. And guess what? Like computers are really good at collecting that. I'm plugging in video just so I can make sure it boots properly. Is there a cluster control for Omni? Yes, there's an Omni control. And it's somewhere in here. Here's the how to install. We'll here's a link for it. And it was one of my to-do items last week to put this in brew. And I didn't quite make it there yet. So we'll get there. But yes, you can manage the stuff with the GUI, but it has a interface as well. That system did not boot properly, so we're rebooting it. Or at least it didn't boot from the USB properly. I think I missed the menu. I have to watch it closely in case it wants me to reset it. Hold on. There it is. This particular box has 3 USB devices plugged into it because it has a Pi Pico, an M4 board, which controls all the lights. So I actually had to bump up the SanDisk so that it would boot properly. Now we should get the menu to reset the installation. And if I had an HDMI cable, I could show you this easily. Look at me, I do have an HDMI cable. Okay, we're gonna get it back. I need to somehow kill my audio. Can I get a different camera? No way. Does it have USB video? Oh, that's amazing. Sometimes the iPad surprises me. Okay. Okay, I think I figured out something. Take this out. Oh, I think it's it should be working in a second. Hold on. Now my monitor keeps going to sleep. This isn't good. Let's go back. Okay, now I think it's booting. It's working. Oh, look, we got the third node, right? There it goes. Okay. We got 3 nodes. That was the third one. Did it work? It worked. Sweet. Okay, wait, but how do I make, can I make myself, do I still have audio? I do. Ooh, that's really blurry. What happened? My video mode didn't change. How do I make it not solo? Exit solo. Okay, so the video mode, both mics are hot. Thank you. Sorry about that. I had to connect my AirPods and just set them on the bench so I didn't hear it twice. Okay, so the video mode didn't change. It's zoomed in like crazy. If I reboot the system, I'm sure it would get the right video mode. But we have 3 nodes. Let's go ahead and boot the 4th. I'm also going to answer a couple questions here. Ryan, Omni is not self-hostable yet. We do have it for enterprise, but we're working on open sourcing it, and then you'll be able to run it locally for your home lab, and you could just run it at your house. So not yet, but it's coming. Hector, if you're using CubeSpray, is this a better option? I mean, it's definitely less steps, depending on what you're trying to do. So I will say it is streamlines, and it'll get you a Kubernetes cluster faster than anything I ever did with CubeSpray. But if you need like every bell and whistle of CubeSpray, then it has a lot of features in it. So yeah, it really depends. It depends on what you're needing. Personally, I'm biased, obviously. Like I did CubeSpray a long time ago. Ansible's slow. It's a lot to configure. I really like Talos as an operating system for stability, all that sort of stuff. So I prefer it. I prefer it so much I joined the company. In the beginning, there was only darkness. After the 4th reboot, there was grub. Yes. Okay, let me figure out which node hasn't booted yet and boot the 4th one. Because we got 3. I don't know why they're in valid state still. Do I need to do an install? I got to figure that one out in a second. But this one came up with all the bells and everything. All the stuff was figured out. This one doesn't even have a Talos version, and I don't know why. We might troubleshoot some things. All right, we should be getting, there's the boot. Let me go into solo mode here. Hopefully this works now with video resolution in the proper layout and everything. So I'm not gonna unplug it mid boot again. It doesn't seem to like something about this video output though, because that screen is usually white. So there's something going on that I'm not sure what it is. Ryan, do I know if there's a way to configure VLANs with Talos? Yes, there is. I know there's a doc for it. I would have to find it for you. Hey, there goes the boot. If you're in the Slack, the Talos system Slack, go ask over there because I know it's come up before. All right, I just rebooted it because I wanted to make sure that the SanDisk was in the proper order, and it looked like it was just after Pixie boot. So we're gonna watch it again and make sure that it comes up booted from USB. That's probably why this was taking this video for some reason has like an overscan issue, and so I can't see the top of the screen where they're usually set. It usually shows what it's booting from. If I remove this, exit solo. There we go. I'm back. Hopefully you heard me that whole time because sometimes it removes my audio and I don't know if you could hear what I was saying. But Ryan responded to my VX. Oh, you want VXLANs, not VLANs. That I haven't seen a configuration for, so I would have to look that up. But would love to hear and see that question in Slack because that's where people know for sure. I have not configured all of the things on Talos yet. Hey, sorry for the delay. Other places, I'm doing this on TikTok from my phone, and then it's Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. YouTube is the most reliable place to see this information. If you're, oh, there's the boot. Wait. I think I missed the menu. Wait a minute. Oh, see, I definitely need to plug this in. I think I missed it. We're gonna switch the video back out. Let me take this out because I think I missed it, and that's probably why these other systems are in an invalid state because maybe they booted without me hitting the menu to reset the installation. So let me try that again. Hold on a sec, Hector. Okay, rebooted it again. The monitor definitely shows me more of the screen than the iPad input. So I don't know if that's a capture card problem or it might be a StreamYard problem. But that does make me think that I just need a better way to show this with a web interface. Okay. So Hector was asking, where is it? Pros and cons for OKD4 for in Rancher. OKD4. Okay. Not OpenShift. Um so for me, most of the benefits are the fact that it's integrated from top to bottom of like WireGuards in the kernel. Like it's available in Talos as the OS. When you boots, you get a WireGuard tunnel directly back to your Omni installation. So it's just easier to kind of OKD is open. That's right. Because I think that's OpenShift, but it's open source OpenShift. Thanks for verifying that for me. Yeah. Talos and Omni, it merges those a little better. So like OpenShifts and it's booting the ISO again. Okay, I'm making sure I don't miss it because if I miss it, I can't do the install. With Omni and Talos, it integrates that a little better. So it knows, hey, when we're booting up, when you download your installation media from the Omni web interface, you're getting your WireGuard connection credentials baked into the image. And so you boot this thing up and it comes directly to this interface. Why is it taking so long to boot the ISO? So that's a big win in my opinion. It's just like you don't have to worry about all that other configuration, connection, setup stuff. And so once I get all 4 nodes booted, I can hopefully show you the actual process of getting this thing installed and creating a cluster, which again is just a lot more simple than anything I had ever used in the past. And I'd worked on multiple systems. I think it's booting properly now, and we will see if it actually shows up in the console here once it gets network connectivity. Hector, hardware for this cluster specifically, this is a personal cluster that you can see that builds on Kubernetes.dev. It's Cubernetes. It's in a Mac cube. So yeah, it's very special. It's x86 hardware. It's Core i7 processors, 32 gigs of RAM per node, and a terabyte of memory. So you can see here in the system itself, like architecture, AMD 64, 4 cores per box. It's Intel, memory 32 gigs. And I can see my logs. So yeah, you can get that. So I have all 4 systems now. I'm going to create a cluster. And I'm going to add nodes to it. Why are there only 2 nodes? So I see 2 connected. Let's make this one a control plane, which I just literally click the box. And this one's going to be a worker. Oh, see, this is why it's invalid. I got to figure out why it became invalid. Because it doesn't read the disk until the machine is in a valid state. It's available. Configure patches. Oh, it remembers. Oh, wow. This is from the first time I ran this. I configured these host names on all the boxes. So it has these patches, and I didn't even know it saved those. Inside of Talos Linux, in order to configure it, there's no shell. You don't SSH in. You don't do anything like on the box except for an API. And so there's layers or patches you apply to the system. So you can look at your patches here, and I have a user-defined patch for a machine hostname of never, and that's all it has. Does my main system have that? Yeah. gonna. So these are all the same, but why do those show they're invalid? Connected. I have no block devices. So this might be because I didn't reset the installation. So I'm going to try to reboot again and get the reset. Yeah, CoreOS. I loved CoreOS. Like that was my first Kubernetes cluster, was built on CoreOS. It was great. It still was more or less a general purpose Linux, and it just removed package manager, right? It's like, oh, it's just containers. And so it had an up-to-date kernel, an up-to-date systemd. Fantastic. Talos takes that one step further. There's no systemd in Talos. Like it's just a custom init system that boots into the kubelets. So when you're booting a system, it knows, hey, I need to run this in Kubernetes. Let me try to reboot this again and see if I can catch that boot this time. For people on TikTok, this is Omni from Sidero Labs. And so it's a hosted version, or a hosted way to deploy Kubernetes clusters. I will say I created an extension power supply or a cable for this box. You can see a big old black cable hanging down there. I'm just glad it's all working because I soldered it yesterday and I was a little worried that it wasn't going to work. So that's a win. All right, I definitely selected reset the OS because again, I had Talos installed on these. When you are reinstalling them, they have to go through a reset process. So we will see if they come up in a valid state this time. And if it does come up in a valid state, I know I need to reset my other nodes. But that doesn't stop me from starting the cluster install with two nodes. One is a control plane, one is a worker node. Just gotta wait for it wipes the disk when you reset. It's like, okay, there you go. No more partition tables. Can I divulge what companies use Omni? No, I can't. There are some public references. If you go look at TalosCon, which was the conference held last year, there are some companies that spoke about it. So Nokia was one that was pretty vocal about building a lot of their edge systems with Talos Linux and Omni. And yeah, we're working on a TalosCon for this year too. And so we'll have a lot more to share, hopefully. I do need to set up a place that people that are using it can come talk about how they're using it. If you haven't seen, we just set up awesome. If you are using Talos now, I literally created this 3 days ago. So I just started throwing a couple links in there that I was finding. So if you have links or projects or libraries that are using Talos, please feel free to PR this awesome Talos repo. And Eric mentions PowerFlex as well. Yeah, they're a power company in the UK. And that box just rebooted again. So I think we're going to come up in a clean, connected state this time. Corey's asking from TikTok, why is Kubernetes so much more complicated than it feels like it should be. And I totally understand that because Kubernetes tries to do a lot. It tries to collapse a lot of layers of stuff into something that has a single layer and a single API. And when you look at everything it's doing, like I'm doing hardware configuration all the way through to an application, like that's your networking team, that's your security team, that's your Linux team, that's all of these things down to a single API. It will be complicated. I do think there are some choices that Kubernetes could make to make it easier. I'm a very strong proponent to get rid of etcd for defaults for a lot of people because etcd is a distributed database that has uh, awesome scaling and partition schematics for large enterprises, but isn't necessarily needed for the majority of people that I've seen using Kubernetes. All right, now I got booting Talos ISO again on that box. That it takes a long time to power or to cycle through Pixie Boot. I have Pixie Boot as the first boot option, and it's just like a minute to time out on network. Victor, yeah, if you want to run Omni now and you're a home labber, it would be $20 a month. Is the base plan right now. We are looking at changing that because we know a lot of people love it, but the self-hosted version is not ready yet. So just hang out for self-hosted version, and you'll be able to run your non-production home lab from the interface using Talos. So it'll get there. All right, that box is finally booting, and I'm going to make sure. I don't even know which node it is, but one of these nodes should have more details here in a second once it boots up and connects back to the WireGuard endpoint. If you haven't seen, I also made a video on the dashboard that Telus provides out of the box because it's really cool. I just made that video and put it on. There it is. See, okay. The second node is up, gets me the details. So these first two nodes, I need to reset their installation. I must have missed the menu, but I need to know what names they are. So this is give you, and what's the other one? Probably never. If you did not know, this is a Rickroll up. So give you an up need to be reset. But while we're doing that, we can create a cluster. We have our cluster here, or we have machines that are going to go into our cluster. So I'm going to say this one is my control plane. This one's my worker node. And I literally selected two boxes and we're going to say create cluster. And now it's going to install while I reset. What did I say? Give you, and I'll look it up. Okay, that one's shutting down. We got these two reconfiguring and installing. Don't power off. I need you to stay on. Oh. That was completely my fault. I powered the button. I pushed the button to turn it off. And it didn't reboot. And I'm like, why aren't you rebooting? Why is my monitor turning off? And it was my fault because I didn't turn it on. I think I have. No, I don't have video on that. Okay, I reset the other one, and now I reset give you. I think that was the top one, right? This is up. Okay, so I need to do up. And my power light's not working on up, so I don't know if it's on or not. It does say, it said it was connecting. We also get, as you can see, we're booting this. It said it was installing. It's not connected right now. It's not connected to here, but we get logs during the installation process. So this is the last thing that we saw from this node as it was being installed and configured. And I don't remember if this one was a, oh, look at, we got an error looking for a disk. I know we set the disk. Sheet is invalid. We get our installer. So maybe I might have had a patch or something. Let's check. That's the fun part. Wait, I want to make sure all of my machines connect properly. Okay, this one looks like it finally reset and is coming back up. And up is the last one that I need to configure. It rebooted, so I'm letting it boot to the USB again. Okay, here I see my block device. Oh, when I told it to install, did I forget to set what it would do? Let's get some video on it. Which ones are these? This would be, so if that was give you an up, this is never gonna. Let's reboot and see where it goes. Oh, what's up? What's up, Devin? Thanks for building it, because that's cool. I saw that you had Talos support, and that was one of the first things I was like, I want to add this one in. I need to try it. I haven't actually tried cluster template yet, but that's one of the things I'll be looking at. Now let's check if our docs. No. Oh, I do need to try. That's another one. Secure boot. There's so many cool things to try. Local single board. That's not what I want. I need to look up my installation destination, because these look like they installed to SDA, which obviously doesn't exist because these are NVMe drives. Yeah, and those completely failed. That's fun. Let's go back to clusters. Oh, we got clusters here. Can I cluster scaling? It's available but not connected. Let's get this other machine going. Had I prepared for this better, I would have wiped these systems before starting this. I think I lost video. Or maybe my monitor's off again. No, the monitor's on. All right. Kill that. After Omni's setup, is there an easy open source repo to deploy? So we do that at Sodero Labs for our clusters. So you can find our examples. I don't know. I need to verify which ones they are, but I know we have. Oh, that's not going to work. Yeah, let me see. Let me see if I can find one for you. This is one thing that I've been looking for in our. How to find it? Because I know it's in here somewhere for things that we do for building these clusters. So I can find that. I actually, when I find that, I want to add it to the awesome Talos repo, but I don't know of a way off the bats. But one thing that we do have is, where is it? Machine classes. There's a way to like bootstrap a cluster. Did that boot? Oh man, I'm in a recovery shell. Hold on. When I reset the installation, it wipes the drive, and for some reason the USB didn't save as being top boot priority. So it was trying to boot from a blank drive and was ending up in a recovery shell. But anyway, Josh, to your question again, there are ways to do it. There are also things in the cluster configuration, I believe. Open dashboard. Here you go. Bootstrap manifests. So I am blocking that option here. So there is a bootstrap manifest for a cluster, and so you can pull in a set of manifests that you're going to want to boot from when the cluster starts, and that's just going to deploy manifests for you. So if you have like a Argo CD for some GitOps or something like that, like something to init all your systems, you probably don't want to track everything inside of a bootstrap manifest, but it's definitely a way that you can have that for, I need a cluster to be ready and I need this to start deploying all my normal stuff for that managed Kubernetes like experience. Although I will say that working at EKS, there wasn't a whole lot we were managing for you. So had I selected the right destination for my installation, we'd probably have a cluster by now, but I'm going back through and redeploying. You can see here, everything is disconnected. Everything is in a failed state because I wiped all of the drives and did not tell it what order to boot them in. So yeah, here we go. Let's try this again. We're going to get one of the nodes up right now, but I have to go through and reboot every single one. The party is still going, Eric, because I did it all wrong. That's okay. All right, we're booting up again, and this is the last one I need to reset the install on. The first menu on Grub is to boot Talos normally, or actually boot from the ISO. If you leave a USB drive plugged in, it'll keep booting into like a healthy state. But if you want to do a reinstall, you have to actually select, please reinstall this. Question from TikTok. I'm not using Arch. I'm using Bluefin. Project bluefin.io. I am a contributor, but also use it. So very happy with it. It is a Fedora Silverblue based spin or images meant specifically for developers. And so it has a lot of niceties around how it works. If you want to see a video on it, I made the video on the homepage. So I give you a little tour. But it's what I use on my main desktop and on my laptop. That machine is booting now, so we should see this machine here pop up as healthy here soon. It shows shutting down. As soon as WireGuard connects again, we can stream our kernel logs back through. There it goes. I just saw that. I saw the dashboard and the video show up, and then all my logs came through. Cool. So now all of my machines should be healthy once this reports. Connected. We'll get our metadata about it. I just heard a beep and I don't know what restarted. Oh, did it restart? It did. Okay. I don't know why it restarted. So I don't think I can salvage this because I installed to the wrong place. So we're just going to destroy this cluster. So it never went anywhere. And we'll go back to our machines because both those machines failed. I realized that TikTok lost audio a while ago, so I'm going to kill TikTok because my microphone battery does not last very long. So now it's just you and me, YouTube and Twitter and LinkedIn. Okay. That box rebooted once after it wiped, and now it's coming back up, I think. But I still need the other two machines to get their configuration. There it is, fully connected. All right. We're gonna get this is gonna never and gun no never up, I think are available right now. Give you an up. Okay. Watch this screen for a second and I'll be right back. I'm gonna get some water because I'm thirsty. All right, I'm back with water, and I'm hoping I thought I'd come back to a third machine booted, but apparently I didn't. We'll see what that does. What was the issue? Misconfigured during initial boot. I think the issue is I told it to install to a SDA, which is not the installation disk. Because you can see here somewhere. No, not that part. Here I have, oh, I see. Oh, did it wipe? Interesting. So I want to install to NVMe 0. And so when I do the install now, I think I might need to. Do I need to set this as a machine patch or? No, that's for that. Let's get the Omni documentation. I want NVMe, not. Okay, it looked like it rebooted now. Let's see if it's healthy. See. No, it says disconnected. Maybe it just hasn't rebooted or shown me the. I don't know if I need to reset my installation again because it failed the first time, but it may have started. What does this do? I haven't actually messed with the machine class yet. We're not going to do that right now. Okay, so I am going to have to reset the installation on both those other two boxes again. But what I want to make sure I do properly is get the installation on the NVMe correct. Bare metal, ISO. Wait, wrong. Here. Reference. Install. Machine. Install disk is what I want right here. So let's go back over to this. Install disk. This is going to be dev NVMe 0. NVMe, that's the block device, so I need the full name. There we go. Save that because they all should be the same. Configure patches. Okay. Now let's make a cluster with those two machines because they're both available. We're say you're a control plane, you're a worker node. We have that install disk, which shows properly, but last time it tried to do SDA. This is for config patching or machine classes, encryptus, workload service proxying. I don't know. I wonder if the hello world automatically gives me that. So we'll try it. Configure storage. No, that's backup for S3. Not what I need. Okay, control plane worker node. Create. Let's try that again. And let me reset the other two again. Those two say they're rebooting now. Let's see if I got an error here again. This looks a lot better. We're in this together. That's what I like to see. You can see this one rebooting solo. So we get it's waiting to join the cluster. Okay, so etcd, again, sorry it's so blurry. I will get a proper way to show this. But they do show in the control plane, it shows it's booting. We can see here we got a booting state now because it was install and then rebooting. And so it does see it coming up. And that is also the name of the machine is up. Ha. So Kublet's running with a health check of successful. Great news. Controller's failing. Still waiting for a dashboard and the hello world service. But everything else looks like it's running, but not ready here on the control plane. My other node just rebooted after the reset. come on. Let's see where we're at. Boot sequence done. We're going to get it. I know we can. I have to wait for my video on that one because but this one's up. It is connected. Status is not ready. It's control plane. Config status applied. Health unknown, but everything's running. We get all of our monitoring here. Control plane, where it's coming back to. System state, no encryption. What's failing here? Controller runtime. Getting nodes up, not found. Is that because I have it, because it has a name? Wait, did the status just change already? I don't think it was ready before. Oh yeah, that's right. I just had to wait a minute. So it's that one's ready. This cluster, 2 nodes in the cluster are ready. And they're up and running. Do I have pods? I do have pods. There's all my cube system, flannel. Okay. Now I thought, oh, you know what? I didn't deploy. I don't think I deployed the sample workload to it. Okay, not a problem. So let's go back to our machines. We have these 2 still unavailable, but connected. Oh, that one just came through. I'm like, wait, I just rebooted that one. There it is. Okay, one more to go. Wait, I think I plugged into the wrong system because give you is part of the cluster already. Which node is this? I plugged it in the wrong spots. I need Gunna. But I also need to set my install disk, NVMe 1. Let's go back to machines, set this install disk. Yep. So never set it up. Never's ready to go. So if I go into my clusters, cluster scaling, I can add, this should be never. We'll say this is a worker node, installs NVMe 1, update. So never is going to be fine. Theoretically, just stare at them until they update. Yeah, that's what you have to do sometimes. So what did I say this one was? This is Gunna. I have to finish Gunna. I'm gonna do it. Okay. Now, I think this is rebooting and I don't want this just shut down. I should remove that iPad. I'm never going to do it, Duffy. I'm never going to give you up. Promise. Okay, so the other one's rebooting now. Where's our overview? We're reconfiguring that one. I need to reset the install. Now, I don't remember if I did an install on Gunna the first time and it failed. Okay, so we got Never's booting right now. It's pulling up the services. We can see it's already connected and the logs are coming through. Machine is running and ready. Let's double check that. Yep, ready. So I just need this system. Gunna is still booting. It'll connect here in a second. I just did the installation reset. So when it reconnects this time, we should have a full Rickroll cluster. That's the point. So with Zol 4. I did change my patch on that, yeah. So we install on the right spot. How does this live stream on Twitter work? Duffy, where are you sending me a comment? Do I have to open it? Oh, they have a separate chat for it now? What? Okay. This is news. Wait. If I chat to myself, does it? Okay, there it is. Wow, this is bizarre. Okay. So it's not like I thought it'd be like in a thread, but it's obviously not. I've never streamed to X before. So they have a whole like broadcast system. That is very confusing. I thought it would be like just part of the thread, but like you can't. I wonder what happens to this after I'm done streaming. I'm assuming it just disappears because like it doesn't exist anywhere except for in this little window. All right, I see the booting ISO right now. X is just weird. Yeah, YouTube is definitely the target for this, and someone was telling me that LinkedIn is pretty delayed. I'm not surprised. All right, there's my kernel pop-up. Here we go. Let's add it to stage. Let's remove that. You can see it coming in. Yeah, StreamYard just added support for X. They also added support for Instagram. But Instagram's only vertical for the streams. They don't do TikTok because TikTok only allows their whatever their TikTok streaming app is. Okay, so this one you can see came up. I have it now healthy down here, which was failing before. It does have an SDA. That's my USB drive that I actually booted off of. Cool. So let's go back to our clusters and let's scale this up again. Cluster scaling. We see the machine available. We're going to make it worker node, update, and it's going to do our install. While that install is going, I could have sworn that I grabbed the 164 installation media, but this shows 162. So we are going to update to 164. So it's going to roll the cluster to a new operating system, which is, if you've ever done Kubernetes management before, is usually not that easy. Thanks, Duffy. Thanks for stopping by. Have a good weekend. We should chat sometime. Give me a call. So one of the beauties of Talos integrated here with Omni is it knows how to do that. It knows how to actually have smarts to upgrade the OS. And if you notice, I'm skipping a point release here, like a 162 to 164, like no problem. It's an image based operating system. So it's going to pull down that image and it will do, this is rebooting, but it'll do our control plane first. We only have a single control plane node. So while that's rebooting, we wouldn't be able to do stuff to the cluster without high availability, but this is fine. And I was looking at the monitor behind me, but then realized that I plugged it in. I plugged it in down here. So this is actually the boot. It won't let me show you that, but that's the boot. I was trying to see the monitor behind me through my video, but we're watching it boot here. So that's already going. Once this is done, we'll get Talos updated on all the nodes. It's installing 162 right now. And then we're going to go ahead, and I think there's an update for Kubernetes as well. It's at 128.5. We can go all the way up to 129 already. So we will do that once our install's done. I really wish the video on this would show me the full video. That has to just be my iPad. I'm going to get a KVM and we'll make it better. We'll make this work. We should. I see it now in here. Oh, there's the other layout. Oh, see, now it's full, but not in this tiny view. I can see the top of the dashboard, but when I make it a full screen, I don't see that. So it's cutting off. It's not zooming. It's probably just forcing it to be widescreen and zooming in. So I have to figure out how to change that in the solo layout. But I see Gunna is rebooting now. Why'd you reboot? I think I can pull a USB drive though. Because it killed our video too. Okay, Let's see as that reboots. I should get video back here in a second. There it goes. Can I make this? Wait, if I remove that, solo layout didn't work. Just for me. No, I want for them. And that zooms in because it's a square resolution. But this shows me the full thing. I just can't change the size. Anyway, we'll figure it out. I'll have to look at StreamYard a bit more. So we are still waiting for that node for Gunna to come back up fully. Shows my API is not there yet. The logs are streaming back, so it has the WireGuard connection back to Omni, and now it's ready. Of course, stare at it a little bit longer. And now it's updating 2 of 4 machines. So we can see we're going to upgrade here on the control plane node first, like I said. I'm going to go back through. These are patches at the cluster level. I do want to get bootstrap manifest, but I'll do that in another stream. This is just for the setup. I need to put in a pull request to change this to order it. It's ordering it. How is it ordering that? It's not alphabetical. It's not IP. Because I set the IPs to be in order. No. Wait. Yeah. No. My static IPs are not working. Where is up? Oh, sure. I plug in the video and then it reboots. And now I'm going to sit down because I think I'm mostly done walking back and forth. There's the video. Now we're back. So we're going to watch the little penguins as we reboot. And then as soon as this one reboots, we're going to get the other systems rebooting. I don't know if there's a rollout configuration for like how many machines to boot. I do know that that the control plane goes first, but I have never actually tried to configure it at all for that. So let's look at not this one. Talos. So we get this spec in here. Let's go ahead and install Omni Control. Nope. Did I not install it? Okay. I have to have that installed, right? Whoa, I updated Bluefin. They got their message of the day working. That's cool. Congrats, guys. That's cool. I like it. And girls. What? Oh, man, so many things to play with. All right. Oh, if it does it on every shell, that's not good. Okay, did not install it. Oh, do I get from the dashboard? Of course I do. Home, download Omni control, Linux, AMD, sure, and my Omni config. Okay. Let's do that. Move Omni to, I have a bin. I have bin. No, it's a local bin. What? Hey, thanks, Eric, for stopping by. What else is in here? Yeah, I got stuff in there. Not my path. Home, local, bin. Oh, I didn't rename it. It's Friday. It's Friday, folks. Bin Omni control. There. thanks, Leah. Okay. Now we should be able to do this. Permission denied. What? There we go. Okay. Get clusters. Is that nope? Oh, I need auth. There we go. Okay. So we got that set up. Where'd we go? We're updating. Is it already on the fourth machine? No way. Current machine 4 of 4. Current machine never is rebooting. Wait, you can't already be done. It is Talos 164. Okay. So in the amount of time that I installed Omni control, it updated and rebooted 2 of my systems. Cool. That I like that. And never is rebooting right now. So we can also get Kubernetes 129. I'm wondering, does it just queue it up? Where does it go? What's the? Let's just throw things at it and see how it works. I see it here as in process, but I only see the Talos upgrade, and I'm assuming as soon as this finishes rebooting, I will see my Kubernetes upgrade or update here. That's my guess. But I do need, let's get my kube config. Talos kube config. Let's throw it in here. What is this cluster called? Talos default. Authenticate that. There we go. Never is still rebooting. Sweet. Okay. Oh, and we can see here we got 128.5. What's up, Daniel? Have you missed something essential? Well, we're actually almost done. So don't worry. It's recorded. It's dumped on YouTube, so you can still catch up. I want to get back to wherever this went. We're doing our Kubernetes update right now. Cool. So the nodes all updated. They're all on Sidero 164. Whoops. We got that done. And then I said, go ahead and update Kubernetes when you're at it, when you're ready to. So it's pulling the new images right now. And I actually don't know. I don't know if the nodes get to update live or not. Because that would be neat if they do. I don't know if they have to reboot to change out the kubelets. This would be something I want to learn. It's just me. I don't have any. Yeah. I don't have anything special set up in here. This is my first time getting back onto Omni for a while. Our status is not ready because our API server just went down. So if I try to hit it over here, it's going to fail. One thing I do also want to set up, let's find the docs for it. Kubespan. Kubespan enabled true. So I need, this is on a per machine basis. Okay. So let's go. I wonder if I do that in a machine class. Condition. If I do CPU Intel? No. Wait, did I? If I, okay. Oh, there it is. I need the full. So let's just say like all of my Intel systems. This will be called span, whatever. Create a machine class. What do I do with it? Okay, we're not going to worry about that right now. We got to go back to our machines, and I think I have to make new patches. So if I say Kubespan, why? There we go. Save that. Machines, configure patches. Kubespan. Save. So these do get merged. At least they're supposed to get merged, which is one other thing that I'm playing with here. Kubespan. Apply. I don't know if you can apply this at the cluster level. I think this is all, no, because it's a machine config. So let's go back to our cluster. We are not ready yet on that API server. What did I say? Oh, running. Okay. Again, I just have to wait a second and then it'll work for me. I want to configure. See, this is cluster. Let's go to the nodes. Let's look at never config. Kubespan. Kubespan enabled true. So that it's already applied. It showed that it came up and then went away. Let's wait for it again. reference. That's what I'm looking for. Cluster templates. So in here we got labels, versions, features, patches. Okay, so patches. Oh, so you can do it at a cluster level. Good. So I didn't need to do it for each machine, I believe. Where are we at with, wait, is this plugged in? What are you plugged into? Whoops. Solo. Oh, that's just unusable. Shows it's running now. Up, API server waiting for the cluster to be ready. Oh, there it goes. Not ready. So it reboot, or it configured the API server, preparing pre-stage, apply config requests, no reboot. So did it do it without a reboot? That's pretty cool. Yes, it did. So no reboot on the nodes for Kubernetes update. That's slick. And we should get our next one going. Or they're not all done. Are you serious? They're all done. Okay. They all finished before I could go back and verify if they were working or not. All of them updated. So there we go. That is a full cluster install. Let's see. We can remove that now. That was what I wanted to get to at this point. So we have the cluster on bare metal right behind me working. We installed it to disk on all 4 nodes. We set up a control plane, and then we also updated the operating system and the Kubernetes version, all in place, ready to go. So yeah, we had if I would have prepared a little better, I could have got you a better video output on that, and I would have reset the installs before we started. But otherwise, wait, and now I have a bootstrap manifest. Hold on, what's it doing? It's doing something to my. It just applied. What is this? A daemon set kube proxy. It has a diff. Daemon set template generation. Oh, look at that. Oh, what? It's going to upgrade my kube proxy because it sees that it has a different version, and it gives me a beautiful little diff here. So if I look at my pods right now, kube. I have that service exposure. So let's look at one. Kget pod namespace. No, I want describe. And let's look at my image here. So yeah, so I have all of the components of the cluster are updated. And then Omni immediately saw, hey, some of the stuff you're running is out of date with that version. And so it apply the changes. Go. And flannel kube proxy creating. So yeah, we're getting our new container versions. Update bootstrap manifest updated successfully. Dismiss. all running. So now the component should be anything that needed to be 129 should be 129. I'm assuming, yeah, I mean, like the API server, controller manager, that's already going to be there. Cool. That was special. I like that. All right. So thanks everyone for sticking around, for watching. If you have questions, leave comments. We'll have more videos coming out in the future. I got a couple more streams that I'd like to do specifically around Talos and Omni. So yeah, if you have something you'd want to see or questions, stop by the Slack. We got lots of people in there helping out. And yeah, well, I hope everyone has a good rest of your day. See you later. I can't end the stream. I don't know why. The button, like, it won't let me. I'm still here. I don't know what to do. Why? Why won't you let me? Like, literally, I can't click the button. That's amazing. I'm going to refresh and we'll see what happens.